Story time about the guy who could have been my potential boyfriend. Okay, so a little background information. I was 18 years old whenever this all happened, and I was in grade 13. Well, back in 2012, I had met this guy online. I know, super dangerous, but I was like 12, okay? Anyways, we're gonna call this guy Jack. Well, Jack was like a year older than me, and him and I became really good friends. Well, at least for the first year that we started talking, all the way up until 2018, him and I were like super on and off after that. Now, throughout the years, I knew that he had a huge crush on me because, sis, he made it extremely noticeable. But whenever him and I wouldn't talk, I would get into situationships with other guys. And I'm pretty sure the same thing happened with him, to be honest. But overall, he was an amazing, supporting, and caring friend. But like I said, that all changed in 2018. So I had went to an all-girls school, and while I was there, I had met this girl, and we are going to call her Bella. Her and I became really good friends. Now, she had been dating this boy who we are going to call Sam. Coincidentally, Sam lived in the same town as Jack. Now, from where Bella and I lived, it was about a 2 to 3 hour drive up to them. So once I found out that her boyfriend literally lived like 5 minutes from him, I decided that now might be a good time to start talking to Jack again. But this time had been way different than all of the other times him and I talked. Before, he would always act super uninterested, and this time he just seemed like way more serious about us. Like, he would talk to me 24/7, FaceTime me, text me, send me good morning texts and good night texts, you know, all that good shit. I mean, for me though, it was really nothing new because I had always considered us being serious about each other, but I guess that was more on my part than on his. Anyways, a month later, Jack and I are still talking, and Bella and Sam are still dating, of course. Just a quick funny thing, Sam and Jack actually knew each other, which I mean isn't really a coincidence because they did live like 5 minutes from each other. Well, the one weekend Bella wanted to go and see Sam, so she asked me if I wanted to come so I could see Jack. And of course I said yes because this was going to be the first time that I had ever met Jack in person. So we spent half of the day on a bus to Johnstown to go and see them. Well, when we got there, surprisingly, after 6 years of him and I knowing each other, it was extremely awkward. So after a lot of small talk and some very awkward moments, everything ended up being just fine. And Jack actually had his license because, like I said, he was a year older than all of us. So yeah, he had his full license. And I know you're probably wondering, what the hell does a full license mean? Now, this is what I read on Google. In New Zealand, they don't just do like a regular license. You have to be a certain age to get like a full license. I don't know. Anyways, he drove us around the whole time, and then we stopped at a gas station and Bella and Sam went to the bathroom. So while Jack and I were alone in the car, I had asked him if he wanted to come to my ball with me. As my date, of course. But he was acting super weird. He was like avoiding the question until I had asked again. That sounds like a red flag. Yup. But anyways, he had said yes after the second time I asked him. Well, my dumb ass thought that this was about to be every teenage girl's fantasy romance story. But of course, I was wrong, like most of the time. Well, at this point, neither of us had asked each other out or like made anything official. And on my end, I thought that it was just because him and I both had the same feelings about each other and we just didn't want to rush things. Because of course, boys tend to get nervous or scared when you try to get into a relationship with them, especially if things feel rushed. So after a few more hours, Bella and I decided that it was time to head home, and once we got home, we all made a group chat together. Sam, Bella, Jack, and I. We would do group calls on Party House and everything like that. So the first time that I met Jack was in April. Well, a month or two later, Bella and I decided to go back. And thankfully at this time, Bella had gotten her license and she had her own car. So we didn't have to take a long ride on a freaking bus to go up there and see the both of them. The only inconvenience with us going up there was the fact that Jack was being super stubborn about meeting up with us. he was like, oh, I have practice, like I can't meet up with you guys right now. Well, after a lot of convincing from Bella and Sam, Jack finally decided to meet up with us. Now, the only reason why I just said like Bella and Sam was because I didn't want to force him to meet up with me. If he didn't want to, of course. But Bella and Sam wanted some alone time, so they really did want Jack there, so that way I would have somebody if they went and did their own thing. But I was super happy that he said yes because I had something very important to talk to him about. And Jack knew that because we had talked about it, but I'm pretty sure he thought that I was going to ask him out. Anyways, Bella and Sam were in her car and I was in Jack's car with him. Well, I decided to wait to talk to him because him and I were just enjoying each other's company and I did not want to ruin a good moment. Well, at this point, I already considered Jack and I to be in a relationship. I mean, we acted like it, so why would we officially ask each other out when we pretty much already were, if that makes any sense at all. Fast forward to June, Bella and I were currently at my house waiting for the boys, and I was super happy that they were coming all the way down to where we live to come to my ball. By the way, guys, I think that like instead of a prom or a homecoming, it's called a ball in New Zealand. I'm not sure. Well, when they got there, Jack had asked me to help him shave his face. Yes, but we were all having a super good time and it was so good. Well, while I helped him shave, he leaned in and he tries to kiss me. But sis, I was nervous, I was sweating a ton, like I was not about to kiss this man, so I just turned away. Anyways, we go to the ball and we're all having a super good time. Everyone was dancing and taking pictures, and I want to say almost at the end of the night, I get a Snapchat notification saying that some girl named Bailey had joined our group chat. But I was not about to ruin a good night by making a big deal out of this, so I just ignored it. And I was gonna ask everyone about it later, but then I forgot. So fast forward, Jack and I have still yet to make anything official, and Bella and I were having some issues with our friendship, pretty much. She would always get jealous of my other friends, so I just removed myself from that situation completely and just decided it would be better if we were like more of long distance friends, because it was just starting to get very toxic. So I would talk to her sometimes, but not all the time. Well, Jack and I kept in touch as friends apparently. Well, fast forward to my birthday, July 17th. My close friends, Rebecca and Alex, who I had started high school with, thought it would be a good idea to go up to Johnstown and see Jack. Also, so Rebecca could see her man. Yeah, I don't know why all of us were dating guys that literally lived like an hour plus away from where we actually lived. So once we got to Johnstown, we met up with Jack, and he had asked my friends if him and I could spend some alone time together. Ladies, grab the tissue box, because things are about to get ugly. So we drive to this really pretty location with a sunset view and a beautiful waterfall. Now, I definitely thought that he was gonna pop the question, and even if he didn't, I had planned on doing it myself because I was tired of waiting at this point. So here I was sitting next to the guy that I had known for over 6 years, completely aware of all the feelings I had for him, but oh boy was I wrong. So first he wishes me a happy birthday and he gives me a box of chocolates and a teddy bear and then an envelope, which at first I had thought was a birthday card until he said, don't open this until you get home. Like, all right, sis, you're being weird now. Real fucking weird. So now my nerves were all over the place. First he gives me this card, then he's acting all strange. So I'm gonna throw this in here real quick. The few times that Jack and I had hung out, he knew that I would never do anything with anybody if I was not in a relationship with them. And he always seemed okay with that, so that made my feelings for him even stronger. So somehow we end up in the backseat of his car, and we were just staring into each other's eyes, and next thing I know, we start kissing. It felt very meaningful and just really romantic. He was telling me how special I was in between us kissing, and I was so happy until he jerked his head away real quick. And then he said, I need to tell you something. Now, I didn't know whether to be excited or scared. Was he gonna ask me out or break my heart? Well, the way that he looked down after he said that said it all. I always had a feeling that he wasn't as faithful as he had claimed to be. Anyways, he looks back up at me and he says, Bailey and I hooked up 2 days after your ball. So then I'm like, what do you mean you guys hooked up? And he just shrugged his shoulders. And then I said, did you guys go all the way? And then he just shook his head yes. Like 2 seconds ago, this man was just professing his love to me, and now he's telling me that he just, like, how are you gonna sit there and profess your love to me and then after tell me that you cheated on me? Pretty much cheated on me, even though we weren't together. So he was like apologizing, saying, oh, she didn't mean anything to me. I'm so sorry, I was just really dumb. Just like all the excuses that a man could say. Well, because I refused to cry in front of him, I told him to take me back to where my friends were. And the whole time he was giving me this sob story about how he was so mad at himself. So I told him not to contact me ever again. Later that day, my friends forced me to block him on everything, even though that was already my plan. But that was after he texted me a bunch of times and left me a crap ton of voicemails. Well, 2 weeks later, I got a message on my computer from Jack. And I pretty much just told him that I could never trust him again. Okay, everybody, so that is the end of today's story time. But I have a little message here from the girl who sent this in. And she said, sometimes you need damage to the heart in order to find the right person for you. I wasn't looking for love after that, but it came knocking at my door unexpectedly. A heartbreak can be traumatic, but give it some time to heal and wait for someone who will give you all that you deserve. Okay, but I have a question for you guys real quick. If you were her, would you give Jack another chance? Not really another chance, but would you still date him? Because in all honesty, in my opinion, it's kind of hard because they weren't in a relationship. They never made anything. They never really put a name on their status, if you know what I mean. But then on the other hand, if he likes her as much as she said he did, then that might just, no. Like, sis, if you were interested in me, there would be nobody else, period. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments.
My girlfriend's friends hate me, and I'm pretty sure one of them has a huge crush on her. I met my now girlfriend at our campus gym. I jokingly asked her to spot me, made a joke about me not being a big guy, I'm not, and somehow ended up getting her to go on a date with me after we were done. We've been together ever since. While I was getting to know her, she admitted to being a huge geek. At the time I thought it was cool, we could play Xbox together or something. Sadly, there actually wasn't a whole lot of overlap between the games we liked. She's into a lot of things I never paid attention to, including D&D, Final Fantasy, WoW, etc. The only problem is that a small group of her friends hate the crap out of me. I'll name the main problem guy, Bill. There's been a couple of really passive-aggressive things him and his little group have done. 1. We were playing Destiny, and doing a strike. It was Bill, my girlfriend and me. He kept leaving the party and inviting her to a different party. When she refused, he sent a text saying another one of their friends was on and wanted to play. My girlfriend decided to just play with me and one of my friends. 2. My girlfriend has a nice apartment. I'm probably over there 5 nights a week, including Saturdays. On Saturday, they basically have a D&D party. Some of her friends who play, including Bill, come over and play D&D. Bill complains about all of the people who come over and don't play. My girlfriend told him to get over it because everyone else has a good time. 3. Another video game related issue, my girlfriend had all of us play Diablo 3 hardcore, her, Bill, me, and Ryan. I was having a little fun, basically making my girlfriend hold my hand through the game. Bill ran ahead and got unalived. He was mad. 4. He invited my girlfriend to a concert with him and his closer friends after I had already bought the tickets for us to go and have her see my family again. My girlfriend told him that we might see him there, and he asked if we would even be together that long. 5. This one's probably the most egregious. Yesterday he literally sent a text to me saying I'm hogging my girlfriend. I sent something saying that if she didn't want to hang out with me so much she wouldn't. He replied I didn't have to do everything with my girlfriend, and that it was annoying people. I'm positive he has a crush on her. My girlfriend told me that she grew up with him, but never really liked him, that he was a part of the group and she'd rather not make a fuss. I don't think I can really blame him for having a crush on her. She's a beautiful girl and all, but I definitely think he's been nothing but a buttface this whole time. My girlfriend's friends hate me, and I'm pretty sure one of them has a huge crush on her. Well, Bill really escalated the issue between him and I. Something I ate must have given me food poisoning 2 days ago, so she's been taking care of me for the past few days. She got a call from Bill, who was at her apartment with some of her friends. She went to go meet them. Apparently they decided to have some sort of intervention, basically saying what Bill had said to me earlier in text, that I didn't have to do everything with them and that we spent too much time together. Bill was apparently very annoyed that I was hanging out with them, and my presence deeply worried him because he had a suspicion I was a danger to those around me. In his own words anyway. It escalated because my girlfriend got angry, and they aren't friends anymore. My girlfriend came home crying. I did my best to comfort her, and we haven't heard from them since yesterday. Apparently there were a few more people, including some of her female friends in that group, that she's been really close with who had a problem with us, but most of her friends didn't bother taking a side. How do I support her through this? She's lost a relatively large chunk of friends, and even if they weren't great friends, they were the people she shared her hobbies with. Obviously, if she wants to do anything with me, I'll do it with her, but I can't replace all of them. She's not crying anymore, she's just angry at this point. Update 2, my girlfriend's friends hate me, and I'm pretty sure one of them has a huge crush on her. So John, another one of her original D&D buddies from high school, sent my girlfriend an email asking if they could talk with us yesterday. We agreed, honestly thinking that they might apologize. They actually decided to tell my girlfriend that they'd still like to be friends, and that they didn't have to be friends with me to be friends with her. My girlfriend said she understood that, but wasn't even sure if she still wanted to be friends. They actually apologized for putting her in that position the other day when they tried an intervention. She still said the only way that they could ever be friends again was to apologize to me and her. I really don't know why. I had to ask what they didn't like about me. They told me, and honestly some of their points had a little merit, and I'll probably have to work on them. 1. I only met my girlfriend because I was physically attracted to her, and decided to talk to her. I don't think this is a legitimate criticism. 2. I spend too much time with my girlfriend, which I do, but like I said in the previous post, it's something we both currently want, and I've never told her to hang out with me over them or something. 3. I only talk to my girlfriend when we're all in a group. I guess I do tend to do that. I see how that's annoying when we're having a conversation no one else is a part of. 4. They feel like I've had my girlfriend kick them out before. She has a few times so we could be together, both times I didn't tell her to. 5. Apparently I've taken advantage of her. She turned 21 before me, so I would always give her cash so she could go run up to the ABC store and get whatever we wanted to drink that night. On one night I asked her to get rubbers because we ran out. Apparently they were there with her, and she was really embarrassed about it. I definitely thanked her, she didn't seem upset about it at the time, and when I talked to her after we left I apologized for putting her in a place she felt uncomfortable. 6. Apparently my friends that came over made a few jokes about D&D, and made them feel uncomfortable. I actually apologized for this. Bill heard a story from one of my few high school friends who came to this school about a few of the girls I dated in high school, and that I had a nasty habit of leading girls on in high school. I did, but my senior year my mom and my older sister sat me down and told me to cut the crap out and treat women with more respect, so I did. I've told my girlfriend about this. I consider it to be one of the more important moments of my life. Anyways, we left, my girlfriend and I talked it over. She's still not going to forgive them if they don't apologize to both of us. She said she doesn't want to spend any less time with me, and sent an email pretty much saying that to them. 2 of the 6 have already apologized by way of a phone call. I should note that Bill wasn't there. I think he's out of town for whatever reason. Not sure if he'll apologize or not.
Am I the asshole for exposing my abusive ex-girlfriend to her fiancé? I, 26 male, dated my ex-girlfriend in high school when we were both 16. I had a crush on her since 2nd grade, so she finally agreed to go out with me in high school, and I was over the moon. Unfortunately, our relationship was a nightmare. I quickly realized she has low self-esteem, constantly asked for reassurance from me about her looks and weight, and if I didn't tell her what she wanted to hear, she would gaslight and manipulate me to make me feel guilty. I didn't realize at the time, but after reading stuff online and listening to some podcasts, I've realized her behavior was emotionally abusive. We dated for around 1 year, and she ended up breaking up with me, citing her mental health, etc., etc. I never saw her after high school because we moved to different cities, and also her social media accounts were set to private. Recently, there was a high school reunion. I found out she would be there, so I decided to go. She hadn't changed much, was still overweight. She said hi to me as if nothing had happened, and proceeded to make small talk with me. It really bothered me that she was pretending nothing happened between us, so I asked if we can talk privately. I told her about how I felt about the way she treated me and was abusive towards me when we were dating. She said something like she was going through a tough time with her self-confidence and apologized for taking it out on me, etc., etc. Said ever since she met her current partner, she was feeling more confident about herself. She then told me they were engaged, which also came as a shock to me. I asked her if she had told him about us and how she treated me when we were dating. She said she mentioned her past relationships to him, but didn't share all the details. I told her she needs to tell him about how she was abusive to me so he knows who he is marrying. At this point, she made up some excuse and ran away from the conversation. I felt that the new partner should know what he's getting into. She is still overweight and has not made any effort to change or improve herself, and probably has the same insecurities, and I imagine how this man will have a terrible marriage. So after the party, I used a friend's account to find her fiancé, and I sent him a message detailing the things she did when we were dating in high school. He responded with something like asking me to stop bothering them. It's been about a week since I did this, and now I'm getting bombarded with messages from high school friends calling me a creep and an asshole. I don't understand how people can side with her when she was the one being abusive. It is her responsibility to let her fiancé know about this. I was doing what I felt was the right thing. I thought maybe their way of reacting to this was because they don't have the full story and the background about our relationship. So, am I the asshole or am I helping this poor man?